The love is different. Benteke on Villa, MLS and Messi. Christian Benteke celebrates a goal for DC United. Christian Benteke has scored 3 more MLS goals than Lionel Messi this season, even at the age of 33, with 17 years as a professional behind him, including 280 Premier League appearances and 45 Belgium caps. Major League Soccer's Golden Boot winner Christian Benteke can still find inspiration in Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. It is a source of frustration that while Messi is starting an MLS playoff campaign with supporters, Shield winners Inter Miami, the former Aston Villa, Liverpool and Crystal Palace striker will be watching on. With DC United's season over, despite Benteke's 23 goals, 3 more than Messi, Inter Miami teammate Luis Suarez and LAFC's Dennis Wonga, DC United failed to make it past the regular season because of their disappointing 10th placed Eastern Conference finish, but the striker is focused. He has signed on at DC for another year and is determined to be in the best shape possible. When the 2025 campaign comes around in February, Messi and Ronaldo are 4 or 5 years older than me, and they still play. So who are we not to push ourselves? He told BBC Sport. It's not luck, it's hard work. They look after their bodies, which is something we can all do. We might not have their qualities or everything they have, but as a high elite athlete, we can all look after our bodies, not ruling out Belgium return. Benteke feels he's moving into a different phase of his career. It is why, despite DC United's relatively poor form, he has no regrets about extending his stay at the club, having initially joined partway through the 2022 season when Wayne Rooney was in charge. Benteke does not crave attention the way he once did. Away from the field, he is quite happy to live a normal life. Relative anonymity in Washington is something he embraces. When you were younger, you want people to stop you in the street, he said. You want to have your picture taken or to sign autographs because you feel you are that guy who is playing for a Premier League team, the most popular league in the world. This is something you want, but when you get older, you know it is your job, and it's what you have to do to score goals and win games. In the US, you can train, and as soon as your session is done, you can have a normal life. Walking to the park, going to the mall, meet up without having to hide or feeling uncomfortable. Just to be a normal guy. This year will be my second Christmas. To be around my family and your kids is something you appreciate. When you play at the highest level for a Premier League team, sometimes you can have Christmas morning at home, but then you have to go. Benteke still keeps across events in Europe and is delighted at how Villa have performed in this season's Champions League, a huge club. The striker calls them. With Liverpool, it is more expected, but Villa was my first team in England. The love is different. They haven't been in the Champions League for a while, so to see them playing well at Villa Park on a Tuesday or Wednesday is something nice. Benteke, who was featured into European Championships, has not played for Belgium since 2022. He was not selected for Euro 2024, and although the next World Cup is being played in his current home, it feels unlikely he will be involved then either. He makes it clear the lack of involvement is not of his making. I am still playing in a very good league and I am still a professional, so why should I retire from the national team, he said. I am not obsessed about it and I am not putting any type of pressure or focus on it, but as long as I am playing, I will leave the door open. That is just common sense for me. It's the day I retire from my club that will mean it is also the end for the national team. The fans were entertained at Wembley Stadium, but the nature of much of the excitement would not have been what England intended during their 4-3 defeat by Germany. This was the start of England's preparations to defend their European crown in Switzerland next summer, and their weaknesses were ruthlessly exploited. It's one for the fans, but not one for us, England midfielder Georgia Stanway said afterwards as she reflected on the 7-goal thriller. It was chaotic from start to finish as Germany raced to a 3-0 lead within half an hour before. Stanway's quick double closed the gap, but individual errors and defensive frailties continued to prove costly for Serena Wiegmann's side and Germany. extended their lead in the second half, eventually wrapping up a deserved victory in London. I don't think it's about us not being at it. Germany are good. You can't back away from the fact they are a world-class team, said Stanway. They have won many trophies in the past and are starting a new campaign just like we are. We know we have things to work on. As a whole, I don't think we need to be disappointed too much. We have a long process to be right for the Euros. This is a step in the direction. Whether it's a good one or a bad one, it's a way that we can learn. England lose to Germany in 7-goal thriller. Weaknesses exposed in necessary Lionesses test. While it was only a friendly, and there are still more than 8 months to go until Euro 2025, the ease in which Germany were able to punish England in the first half was concerning. On to many occasions, England's defence was split apart by a single pass, while the gaps across the pitch were alarming and individual errors piled up. Germany's opener came from a mistake by captain Leah Williamson, who gave the ball straight to Linda Dalman, and she was brought down by Millie Bright to earn a penalty. Jess Carter and Lauren Hemp's failure to track Julia Gwynn led to the second goal, and goalkeeper Hannah Hampton was beaten too easily at her near post when Clara ball fired in a third through the legs of defender Lucy Bronze. It was a seamless stream of errors compounded by Germany's ruthlessness on the counter-attack, but Wiegman insisted this was the test they wanted. I didn't want the result. I wanted us to do a couple of things better, of course, and I'm not the only one. The players did too, she said. That was disappointing, but I think it was a very high-level game where there were so many challenges for us and also for them. That's what we wanted at this stage. It gave us so much information and showed us exactly what we need to do better and the challenges tactically we had, and so did they. Wiegman's explanation for the goals was losing the ball in moments we don't want to lose the ball, adding that England needed to work on the timing of their high press. Going forward, England were reasonably effective. Alessia Russo and Beth Mead caused problems, while Ella Toone struck agonizingly wide in the first half. They also showed resilience to come from 3-0 down to close the gap to 3-2 shortly before half-time. But it is clear the Lionesses have work to do before next summer. Focus in the build-up to the match this week was on Wiegman's team selection, with several regular starters struggling for domestic form. Williamson, who lifted the European trophy 2 years ago, kept her place despite calls for Manchester City centre-back Alex Greenwood to come in. She struggled before being taken off in a planned substitution in the second half, while in-form United midfielder Grace Clinton did not get on the pitch. Goalkeeper Hampton fought off competition from Mary Earps for her place, but it is not secure after a mixed performance. Wiegman was pressed on her team selection, but said she had no regrets and was happy with the starting she chose. That's always easy to say after a game. If we had won, then the question is different. I'm happy with the starting lineup and the team, she said. What we wanted is to see other players, which we did, and we know there is huge competition going on. That is good for the team. Tottenham's Jess Nez, Manchester City's Jess Park, and United captain Mayale Tissia were among those to come on as substitutes, while Greenwood replaced Williamson an hour in. But it was the same starting she that drew 0-0 with Sweden in July, and 7 of the 11 players had lined up to face Germany in the Euro 2022 final. This was the first of 4 friendly matches in 2024, giving Wiegman plenty of opportunity to experiment with her team selection. She may still do that with South Africa to come on Tuesday, but this felt very much like the tried and tested, and it ultimately failed to impress. All in all, England will leave Wembley Stadium with more questions than answers.